Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Lyon, and I want to talk to you about politics, religion, and the parallels. Leadership is vital to progress. Wisdom, foresight, and morality are indispensable to the endurance of nations. Civilization is never really jeopardized until able leadership begins to vanish. When the people of a nation elect a dead person, someone struggling with mental illness, or obviously corrupt or incompetent, then that nation is in deep, deep trouble. I must confess that I am terribly disappointed in the last election. How could anyone vote for more of what we've had these past 2 years versus what we had in the previous 4 years? Elections are not personality contests. We are not voting for miscongeniality. We often say that politics and religion don't mix. Religion is the study of God. Science is the study of God's creations. Politics is the religion of government. Religion is the politics of God. Socialism fears religion because God is the thing worshiped. Religion fears government because it normally opposes God. However, a great advance in civilization came in the year 1787 when a government was created in partnership with God, a partnership with a God in whom we trust, a government of faithful and righteous people free to worship who they choose, as opposed to a mandated government religion, which is outlawed in the First Amendment, which provides that Congress make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting its free exercise. This is often confused as meaning the separation of church and state. Even though they seem totally opposed, I realize the similarity of religion and politics. Both become tradition-bound and dogmatic over time. Both of them fear change and anyone suggesting change. Both fear the other, and both have passionately loyal people at three levels of participation. These three levels are, and I'll call them number one, the primitive level, the natural and instinctive urge to be ruled by fear. At this level, religion preaches fear and guilt as the price of belonging to the group and the hope of security and eternity. Politics uses fear as physical intimidation to keep the population in line. And many people are okay with this because it doesn't require anything from them other than to shut up and stay in line. The second level I'll call the civilized level, the intellectual authority of religious organizations, and in politics, the authority of the party. We see this in politics when decisions are made strictly on party line votes. We see this in religion when creeds must be agreed to in order to belong to a certain faith or religious organization. Think or believe as we do, or you can't be part of us. And the third level I'll call the level of political or religious freedom. In religion, this is the realization of the spiritual values of truth, beauty, and goodness, and the gospel of the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of mankind. In politics, I see this as the elimination of political parties, where all people are free to follow the ideology and form of self-governance they choose. Candidates will be elected on the content of their character, their leadership abilities, and vision for the future. Why are we so divided as a nation? I believe it is because we are all these different levels of religious and political participation, while we are also psychologically divided into people who want to be told what to do and what to believe, and another group that wants to have the freedom to make their own choices and do what they think is right. Why is America in trouble of being cast into the dustbin of history? I think Jesus said it best about religion, but it is great wisdom for politics too. He said, quote, "You should all recall how the psalmist spoke of these times, saying, 'Why do the heathen rage and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers of the people take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us break the bonds of mercy asunder, and let us cast away the cords of love.'" Unquote. Jesus told the apostles, and I'm suggesting to you that today you see this fulfilled before your very eyes. And that is the Lion Truth. This is actually a three-part series. Part 2 shall offer some further thoughts on this. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Lyon, and I'd like to talk to you once again about politics, religion, and the parallels. In my last episode of The Lion Truth, we looked at the question of why we are so divided as a people of the same nation. Both liberals and conservatives look to the government to solve our problems. We criticize those who believe in big government because they look to government to make life fair and equal for all, or at least fair and equal for all who believe like they do. We point to the Constitution and blame our problems on the failure of government to follow and enforce the Constitution as the cause of this cancer of division that has infected America. Let me return to the person I love to quote as the wisest of the wise men who ever walked this earth. Jesus taught his apostles, saying, quote, "The heathen are not without excuse when they rage at us. You who have professed entrance into the kingdom of heaven are altogether too vacillating and indefinite in your teaching conduct. The heathen strike directly for their objectives. You are guilty of too much chronic yearning. If you desire to enter the kingdom, why do you not take it by spiritual assault, even as the heathen take a city they lay siege to? You are hardly worthy of the kingdom when your service consists so largely in an attitude of regretting the past, whining over the present, and vainly hoping for the future. Why do the heathen rage? Because they know not the truth. Why do you languish in futile yearning? Because you obey not the truth. Cease your useless yearning and go forth bravely doing that which concerns the establishment of the kingdom." Unquote. I began this series by showing the parallels of politics and religion. I think if in the previous statement by Jesus we changed the context of politics, the same admonitions that Jesus applied to religion are also true of politics. Until we, the people, progress to a higher level of recognition of spiritual and political realities, large numbers of men and women will continue to show personal preference for those religions and governments of authority, which require only the intellectual surrender, in contrast to the religion of the Spirit and the politics of freedom. True freedom, both political and religious, require the active participation of intelligent minds and faith souls in the resolution of political and religious issues. I think this is what Benjamin Franklin meant when he said, "A republic, if you can keep it," and what Jesus meant when he said, "To go forth bravely." In religion, too often we say, "I go to church, I believe in God, I'm a nice person. What more do you want from me?" In politics, we shrug our shoulders, give a sigh, and say, "What can I do about that?" Or something like, "I voted, I posted to Facebook, I sent an email to my congressman. What more do you want from me?" Another reason we are so divided, I think, is because we have lost confidence in our own convictions and ways of thinking. And because of this, we have become more intolerant of others as a justification for our own way of thinking. If they are wrong, I must be right. And if I am right, they must be wrong. If we really want to find peace as a family, a nation, or a world, then we must adopt the concept of unity without uniformity in both politics and religion. We can be the same but different, but freedom will never be peaceful until we do this. Politics and religion are the greatest and most influential of all group endeavors. In politics and religion, we have lost the thrill of making a real difference in the world, of leaving this world better than we found it, of bequeathing to our children and grandchildren a world of peace, love, and opportunity. We have lost the satisfaction of achievement and a job well done by surrendering our personal beliefs and choices to some elected representative, giving our portion of righteousness to the highest bidder or the easiest choice. For me, Mark Meckler is our present-day Patrick Henry, but we need more like him. We all need to be the Mark Meckler of our city, district, or region, and that is the Lion Truth. Part 3 will conclude this series. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Rick Lyon, and this is the conclusion of Politics and Religion, the Parallels. These two functions, politics and religion, are the most personal and important choices of the individual and the most powerful and influential group activities of all mankind. Religion and politics are the bookends of everything else. With some justification, we place the greatest blame for war on religion. The truth is, the greatest cause of war is actually politics. In the past couple of years, the war of politics has expanded from nation against nation to invade our families and pitted loved one against loved one. Our own American Civil War was labeled as brother against brother. Today, our political civil war is once again destroying our families from within. In the wrong hands, the power of politics or religion can be an instrument of evil. The other end of this is that religion and politics can also be the greatest force for good in the world. Susan and I do a prison ministry. We see how religion can lift up a person at the lowest point in life. We have also seen how other ministries have helped millions of people by providing food and shelter for hungry bodies and starving souls. We see that politics can do this too when partisanship is taken out of the equation and people work together unselfishly in disaster relief, education, healthcare, and defending the defenseless. Some people despise religion or hate politics, but it isn't politics or religion that is the problem. It is the people leading that determine whether each of these is a force for good or the instrument of evil. In America, the people choose the leadership, and this choosing is what we call self-governance. And we make these choices in politics and our religions. It is up to we, the people, to choose wisely and man the watchtower of integrity over our political and religious institutions. How you choose and who you choose to elect and to follow does make a difference. It is in your hands that the spirit of America and the spirit of your soul finds this pathway to good or evil. The religious believer is sympathetic to suffering, aware of social injustice, and not insulated from economic thinking, and not blind to political tyranny. Religion influences politics directly because it spiritualizes and idealizes the individual citizens who then become active and influential members of political groups as voters or candidates. And we have all heard the saying that all that is required for evil to succeed is that good people do nothing. When Jesus lectured his apostles about what following him would require of them, he said, "And now which one of you would prefer to take the easy path of conformity to an established and fossilized religion, as defended by the Pharisees at Jerusalem, rather than to suffer the difficulties and persecutions attendant upon the mission of proclaiming a better way of salvation? Are you fearful, soft, and ease-seeking? Are you afraid to trust your future in the hands of the God of truth, whose sons you are? Will you go back to the easy path of intellectual security in a religion of traditional authority? Or will you gird yourselves to go forward with me into the uncertain and troublous future of proclaiming the new truth of the kingdom of heaven in the hearts of men?" And all the apostles jumped to their feet and said, "We will." Recently, we saw a devastating defeat for self-governance as the federal government gains momentum in gobbling up power. So now what do? Shall we surrender? Will we take the easy path of conformity to an established and fossilized political system as defended by the corrupt and selfish politicians in Washington, rather than suffer the difficulties and persecutions that come from accepting the mission of proclaiming a better way of governing free men and women? Are we fearful, soft, and ease-seeking? Are we afraid to trust our future to our own political beliefs and wisdom? Will we take the easy path of surrender to a political authority that governs by fear and intimidation? Or will we gird ourselves to go forward with Mark Meckler and the Convention of States team into that uncertain and troublous future of proclaiming the truth that we, the people of the United States, in partnership with God, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, have ordained and established the Constitution for the United States of America, and we will use this Constitution, our rights as endowed by our Creator, and our love for our fellow man to save this Constitution, our republic, and the future for our children. And that is the Lion Truth. Thank you.